Good morning, everyone. It's Nate G here. We're going to do a quick video on the VOLD ratio and the new indicator that was created so that we could track and add this to different charts. The previous one we were using was no longer available. And so we built this new one with a couple of new features just to kind of ramp it up just a little bit. But we use the VOLD ratio in a number of ways. One, when we are looking at this chart here, and we're looking to see, this is a 1 and a 2 minute SPX chart, and when we're looking to see kind of potentially what kind of day we're going to have, if we're going to have a trend, a potential for a trend up day or a potential for a trend down day, there's a couple of indicators we want to look at. The first one being the VOLD. And the VOLD ratio is just a ratio of volume going into up stocks, stocks that are going up and stocks that are going down. And it takes the ratio of that volume and plots it on this VOLD ratio chart. And so what you'll see is the one that we created has it has a zero line, and then we have ranges in which we look for within the VOLD, right? And so these lines are marked at 2.5 and minus 2.5. In some cases, people like to use 3 and minus 3, and that can be changed in the settings here in the VOLD ratio. You can change the top end range and the bottom end range, and anything outside those ranges is showing us that there's a lot of names that are getting volume into them that are moving down, so that there's a lot of selling if they're below minus 2.5, and then conversely, if they're above 2.5, there's just a lot of buying in the market, right? And so one of the first things we can see is if the VOLD ratio, like yesterday, and it's OPEX week, and so we did not get the trend down day that was sort of being signaled. But the things that we're looking for are a VOLD ratio below 2.5 or above, right? And then we're looking for the advanced decline to give us a confirmation. So if it's a trend down day, the advanced decline is going to be pinned, usually around minus 2,000. And on the flip side, plus 2,000 for a trend up day. And then we're watching the ticks. This is a cumulative tick chart over here. And not cumulative, it's real time, but it's graphed. And if it's showing like sections or the whole day where we've got ticks that are staying above zero for the most part of the day, those are kind of the three things we look at to help determine if it's going to be a trend up or down day. So if we come and we look at a true trend up day, this was, what day was this? Wednesday or something like that? It was the 12th, right? And so if we look at that day, we could determine it didn't start out that way, but right about that sort of an hour into the market, our VOLD ratio started showing plus 2.5, and the advanced decline was pinning. I think I have to move the advanced decline separately. Sorry. Where are we here? This is the 12th. We were pinned up here at, I'll make it just a little bit bigger so you can see. Right, we started to get pinned up at like 1,500, 1,600 here. This is the advanced decline. And the ticks were a little all over the place, but for the most part, we're staying above zero. And so what we've added to this VOLD indicator is when we are above the ranges that we've set, whether that be 2.5 or 3 or 4 if you want, that VOLD ratio will turn green, or if it's below, it'll turn red, just to kind of give you a little bit more of a clarification on that. And that just helps us figure out. And the reason I started using that was because on a trend day, if you play the snipers on a trend day, the sniper 1.0 is trying to catch, reversals in the market, right? But if you're playing a trend up day, or if you're playing those during a trend up day or during a trend down day, you keep trying these reversals and just keep getting stopped out because they just don't really roll over enough to give you the profits that you're looking for. And so I wanted a way to stay out of days like that and not get just chopped up and actually flip it and be able to play the actual move in the market, play with the trend versus trying to catch all these reversals. And so that's where we started using the VOLD to help identify potential days that were going to be trending so that we didn't step in front of a freight train trying to catch reversals. So, and then, you look at a day like yesterday, which looked like it really wanted to be a trend down day, VOLD wise, but we really chopped around. We got a lot of good range, but we just really, kind of chopped around and didn't really end up going anywhere. So that's not, it's not an end all and be all indicator, but it works really well for us to at least know when to stay out of sort of those 1.0 style trades until we see some more data for the day. Does anybody have any questions on the VOLD and how we use that VOLD indicator? And does anybody want the link here to the new one? That way you can put it on any chart. You might have got it yesterday if it's something you wanted. I'll put it in here just in case. And so as you can see, I've got it on this multi sort of internals grid that I watch. And then I've also got it on my ORB trade grid. Just basically here at the bottom. I just kind of want to see what's happening. Okay, if that's it, I'm gonna stop the recording, but I'll stay around on the mic for a bit. Yeah, you want me to share this opening range, 15-minute opening range grid? Yeah. Let's see. What am I doing here? Save, auto save. Sharing's not on. There we go. There you go. That's the 15-minute opening range break chart. You won't get these lines. You'll get the opening range indicator. That's a free indicator. But you won't get these, green and red lines each day because that's a paid indicator. I haven't, Fog. You want to basically how you set up the VOLD indicator is just put it on your chart, right? Once you click that link and you hit favorites, so right, if you click that link here, I'll go click the link, and then I'll show you what comes up. So then what comes up is, a link here, and you can add it to your favorites, or you can click use on chart, right? But if you click use on chart, it might open your charts in the window. So if you add it to your favorites, then you can go to any chart and go to your indicators and go to your favorites, and it should be in there. Okay, and then you just pop it on a chart. Now, if you want to go into your settings, right, the top end range and bottom end range, you can change the value of that if you wanted it 3 or you wanted it 2, 2.5, you wanted it 3.5. You can turn the summary tables on and off. You can change the colors of the bars if you want to. If you don't like the green and the red. You can change them to all gray. The previous one we were using, everything was blue. There was no color change on the ranges. You can take off the fill in behind it if you don't like that. But other than that, you should just be able to put it on your chart and it should work just fine. There's no real setup needed other than changing, changing where these ranges are set. Does that help? The recording is still going. Yep. I have not stopped it yet. Yeah, I think when it comes through, I have it defaults to a dotted line for your ranges. If you don't like a dotted line and you want your solid line to look just like mine, you come in here to the top end range and bottom end range on the style side, and you just change it from a dotted line, to a solid line. And I need to go in and change that in the default settings, but that's the only difference, really. No, this is not a toss indicator. This is only a trading view indicator. Okay. If you have the indicators, if you just click on the little star next to the indicator, and it'll put it in your favorites. As long as it's starred, it'll go into your favorites. And as long as you have it, all you have to do is click the VOLD, or type in VOLD ratio in the search function. But it is private, so if you haven't clicked that link, it won't load for you. Yeah, SPY's popping up here. All the way back into the point of control. It was quite a whip right there, wasn't it? All the way into the point of control and VWAP. Let's see what it wants to do here. This could be a break and reclaim. Right? A breakdown, and it's reclaiming the pattern, which is bullish, which would be surprising for today, but it is what it is. There was another question on... Nice, C square, well done. Okay, I'm going to stop this video because it was really about the VOLD.